This is First Centurion 753 with second part of a two-part series on, or at least a two-part series on Total War Empire. Sort of seeing if I can branch out on my channel a little bit. First episode or first part of this series, I think I just explained what the situation was. This is a game I'd already been playing with Austria, where we sort of took over most of Central Europe as it was. We vanquished the Prussians and took a bite out of Poland and Lithuania. We actually have Poland and Lithuania. The Swedes are getting more powerful in Scandinavia. They've begun to penetrate a little bit into northern Germany and Russia. They have St. Petersburg. I don't know if they start off with St. Petersburg or not. I don't know. I don't remember if they start with St. Petersburg. I don't think they do. Russia still has control of Moscow, though. France and England and Spain have mostly retained their holdings. The Ottoman Empire is still pretty strong. But this episode is mostly going to be about showing you guys a battle or a little combat to see. It's just if you guys want to see a little more action on the channel. I tried live streaming this on Twitch a little bit. There wasn't really anyone watching, so I'm looking to become a Twitch affiliate. And since most of my content is on this channel is Geopolitical Simulator 4, and Twitch doesn't really have that, sort of looking for other games to play on the channel. The first episode seemed to have pretty good. I'm just gonna lay siege here. The first episode where I really just went over the Austrian economic situation, which is going pretty well for me economically. Most of our income is based on trade because I've exempted most of my provinces from taxes, but that's going to allow them to grow and everything. So I talked about that in the first episode here in this two-part series. This one is going to be more about combat, like I said. And we're going to lay siege here. They'll probably attack us at the end of the turn, which I might as well just go ahead and end now so I can continue to talk to you while the turn is being played out. And again, looking to play games on Twitch. I want to become a Twitch affiliate. So I'm almost there. If you can follow me on Twitch, I'd really appreciate it. If you're into my channel and into my content, of course. Mostly I focus on strategy games and historical games and political games and everything, so just looking to diversify the content, the genre a little bit here. Russia keeps asking to an alliance. I don't want an alliance with them. That'll probably bring me a war with Sweden, and I don't want to do that. And sort of just showing you a little bit of an alternative game that could be on the channel. With Austria, it's interesting that Austria never really had a colony in the New World, and with this battle in the Guianas, we're about to gain control of our first colony. So if this Total War game is one that you'd like to watch, please do like the video. It seemed like there was somewhat interest in the last one, and this one's going to be a little bit more action. So I was hoping this might be better for live streaming on Twitch or something like that. So let's go ahead and start the battle here. We've got our general, Victor Gemlin, with the 1st Regiment of Horse Provincial Cavalry, 2nd Regiment of Foot Line Infantry, and 13th Regiment of Foot Line Infantry, along with the 6th Regiment of Artillery up against, looks like 6 Indian tribes, I guess you call them, armed tribesmen, mob, and some elite infantry, Native American infantry. We're going to go ahead and fight this battle, and just see if, this is something that's interesting to the subscribers and everything. Total War Empire was probably my first, it was my first game on Steam. Not my first strategy game ever. I've definitely played games, going back into like the 90s and everything. But once I got back, this is the game that got me back into playing video games as an adult, I guess. So it's always been a favorite of mine. I do have the Darth mod downloaded on my computer, but there's been some glitches with that lately, and I'm not playing with Darth mod at the moment. But I do have that Darth mod, which allows you to play as the minor nations. Like, I always wanted to play as like Portugal or something, or maybe Venice, and see what I can do as a minor nation. But I think playing as Austria and setting up a colonial empire is a pretty cool approach, sort of like something that never happened in history. So here we go on the battlefield. I'm gonna go near a clump of trees, I think right around here, and set up my artillery. I think this is a good spot, right? That'll be a good open plain there. We're just going to put our artillery right here. Alright, unlimber them and move them up 2. And let's put 1 line infantry. We'll keep this line infantry under cover in the trees. I don't know if it's going to matter too much because they don't really have volley. They're hand-to-hand combat. I should probably move them up a little bit. Up. A little more. Let's get them a little closer, actually, to our artillery. It's a pretty good open field. The Austrians have a larger infantry regiment than everyone else, 150 men. And let's take these guys, line them up there. But I don't think they have as high morale. Which makes sense because Austria wasn't really experiencing the nationalism. This is one of the arguments why the Austrians didn't fight as well in World War I. They didn't have the sense of nationalism hadn't developed. This is one argument. I'm not saying it's the actual reason why, but there wasn't really a sense of nationalism developed within the Austrian Empire. Actually, this isn't really the Austro-Hungarian Empire as it is. It's more of and it is the 1700s, so early 1700s. So nationalism really hasn't come on. But by the end of the 1700s, you have much larger conscription and much larger armies going into the 1800s. Which historians argue is due to the fact that there was a larger sense of nationalism among the citizen population, which allowed countries to go ahead and pass conscription laws and convince people to go and fight and die for their country. And that's what World War I ended up being all about, really. Millions of people fought, marched out to the front, and it was accepted. It was just a killing machine. Killing spree. For 4 years, Europe just devastated its population. Alright, they're in range here. Let's go ahead and fire artillery. This is be solid shot, so it won't have that much impact, but we might be able to get lucky and pick off a few of these Native Americans. There's a shot going over their heads, really. Once they get closer, we'll switch to canister shot, and that will mostly annihilate. That'll wipe these guys out pretty much. They might get to my cannon. There's a lot of them. They might get to my cannon, but if they do, I positioned my cavalry right behind them, so they should be able to at least knock off the first wave. I am definitely outnumbered, but with gunpowder, we're going to overwhelm these Native Americans. These are the Arawak rebels who have taken over the Guyana provinces. There's more cannon fire over their heads at this point. Not in the range, but once they get into that little deluge right there, I think that's the killing field right there. Canister shot will rain down on them, plus musket fire should basically wipe them out. That's one of the reasons why I like this game, Total War game. It's one of my favorite Total War games. I love the simulation of musket fire, cannon fire, much more than melee combat. I don't know, just positioning troops on high ground, places where they can fire on the enemy, enfilade fire coming in from the side and the flanks, different use of artillery. That did not get anybody, did it? It's also a pretty cool naval war simulation, although I've never been really good at naval war in this game. And I just like, this whole thing, the whole marching of armies onto these fields of battle just looks really cool to me. Even though, this is an older game, it's always been a favorite of mine. And I like the economic systems. It's not too complicated, but it is somewhat complicated. Ooh, just missed it. there are some complexities to it. It's not like Geopolitical Simulator or anything like that, or Democracy 3 for that matter, which was a pretty intense game. Which I had a pretty intense live stream a pretty good live stream this morning. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold fire until they get into range of that canister, and then we're going to wipe them out pretty much. But I think the troops look really cool. I was always fascinated with the way that the soldiers looked, and the muskets and the bayonets. This is definitely my favorite time period one of my favorite time periods in history, if not my favorite. 1700s. Here we go. We're ready to fire. They are in range. Here comes the cannons. Canister shot. We should be able to wipe out a good chunk of them. Hopefully quickly. They're getting a little close. Get these guys. We got 109 there. They waited for the canister. And here come musket fire from the flanks. Numbers are dwindling pretty quickly here. Blow them away. Let's go. Fire. I might have to pull my cavalry in quicker. Hold. Fire. Alright, the cavalry pushed one group back. Oh, that's gonna hurt my own guys. Friendly fire. I might have charged that cavalry prematurely. Are they in range? They are in range to fire on them. Yeah, it's definitely a premature cavalry charge. I don't want to disengage though, because that would hurt them with morale. And I don't want to fire my cannon either, because that could hurt them as well. Might as well fire now. Alright, a number of them seem to be wavering. Are they back on their guns? Actually, I played this pretty poorly. I usually do a lot better. I think, we might have to engage here in melee combat. They've got bayonets. They should be able to turn on them. Push them off my cannon. Bringing in the 2nd Regiment of Foot Line Infantry. They are... Airwalk rebels are shaken at this point. My cavalry is off the field. Enemy general killed. That should end it for them with their morale. And I'm going to pursue them with my own general. Get these guys back on the cannon. And that looks like victory. Heroic victory. Okay. So that's actually one of my worst battles ever, I think. But if you guys like the combat, if you like what you've seen in the battle, let's see what the numbers are. We lost 94. That's a pretty big number for that. I didn't think I would be losing that many. A lot of it in the cavalry department. They lost 444. They lost about half their force. They still, however, control the base. Let's see if we can force them to surrender. They refuse. I don't want to go ahead and fight this battle. This will be an easy win, so I'm just going to automatically auto-resolve it. And we've basically taken over our first colony. The Austrians now have a colony. in French Guiana. We have a governor residence there. I'll repair that. Construction report. Coaching in Florence, Central Italy. Commercial port in Trieste. New town emerges in Bohemia. Where's that town? Right there? Very poor town. Well, a poor Bohemian town. Bohemia, a province that has some mines here that could bring in... Oh, that's Bavarian. This is an iron mine. If we raise iron mine, that would bring down happiness. So, being that this is a poor town, Bohemia has mostly Protestant, mostly Catholic, and moving in the Catholic direction. So I'm going to go ahead and do another coaches in here in order to boost popularity, so we can build these steam-pumped iron mines, as well as bring in clearances, because clearances also reduce happiness from industrialization. So that's another part of the economic strategy there. Traits gained: a mistress for Philip Zinzendorf. I don't know what that is. We've got some rakes and a 3-bottle man for the general. So rakes gained some traits there. And region captured, French Guiana, very wealthy region. We've got 2,400 income, and there are no villages left, so I'm going to tax them, bringing in 600. And we've got a gold mine here and a plantation. I'm gonna wait till next turn though to enhance these, and that's going to be it for me for this episode. So if you guys like Total War, if you like to see more Total War on my channel, please give a like, or feel free to leave comments down below. You can do a dislike if you want. One person put a dislike on the last one, that's fine. That gives me some information. Generally, I think there was more likes than dislikes. There was one dislike and a handful of likes in the last one, so that sort of tells me that there's some interest. Would you like to see this live streamed on Twitch? You know, just looking for some fan information or subscriber information. I'm gonna rebuild that one too. That'll allow for the trade. That'll allow for the spice to flow out and add to our trade network, which right now we have mostly, it's all ivory coming in from the Ivory Coast in Africa, but a lot of trade agreements with European nations, so it gives us a lot of markets to make our profit. And bringing in spice, which is at 27, add more to those markets. So there's some cool economic components to this game as well. So that's it for this episode, or at least this test run for now. Like the video if you did, like I said, and let me know what you think in the comments. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description down below to find out when I'm live streaming and when I'll be posting videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.